I forgot what the title of the video was until it popped up when I went live. I was like,
Ah,
damn. Sometimes I'm too harsh for myself.
the title is just rant.
Good afternoon. An unusual time for us. It's AOH with Sports and Fitness Rants. We might have Zay joining us, and we're gonna give shout outs to all the people that are in here nice and early, and then we'll get into the meat of it. Brandon is a new member. Meg, hello Meg, longtime supporter. Wolves got to be like Barkley. Barkley once told a ref in a game straight up that if he, the ref, wasn't going to take care of this, the guy fouling him with no calls, I'm going to take care of it myself. Yeah, those are the old days. Can't do that shit anymore. I mean, I guess doesn't seem like you can get in trouble for saying something like that.
Yo, once again, man, we're back. You know the deal, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's the Zalda video footage. I know you guys have seen the videos that he's been putting out, breaking it down, giving you guys the evidence and the facts that you need. Once again, I give you guys the audio to the visual that he puts out there. And we're back for another Wednesday edition. That's why we're back in the afternoon today. And you guys know the deal, man. Let's roll.
Yeah, I've got all four periods up in their entirety in the members section from the TNT angle. And then this afternoon, I'll be continuing to edit through it. You get an idea of the challenge of breaking down LeBron's cheating when the very first play of the game is just a shockingly blatant foul, uncalled. Alistair is a new member. Welcome. Used Bucket says, I wonder what it feels like to be LeBarbi's teammate when your supposed leader has to trade for a star like Doncic to try and get it done. What kind of respect can a stat pattern like that demand? Well, I agree with you, but we also live in a world where you have an Austin Reeves who himself is better than LeBron James. You don't even need a Doncic. Austin Reeves is better than LeBron James, but he knows the drill, whatever that means. I can't pretend that I fully understand the drill or the politics, the finances, the threats, the LeBron James mafia, whatever it is that causes these people to say the things that they do. Austin Reeves,
Yo, remember AOH, and shout out to everybody that's coming through in the chat. I see you guys coming in. Shout out to Bookmark. I see you. Shout out to AC24. Everyone has come through already. Thank you very much, guys. And we were talking about Austin Reeves. Remember, it was ESPN. It was Stephen A. Smith, in fact, himself, who called and labeled Austin Reeves the best, quote unquote, third option in the NBA. So if we think about that reality that they're trying to promote, you have Luka Doncic, who we all know is a top three player in the NBA. That's how he's promoted. That's how he was promoted coming into the season. That's the kind of stuff that he's been, showing us over the last years of his career. And then you have LeBron James, who once again ESPN said it was the seventh best player coming into this league. If we listen to the astute analysis from Kenneth J. Smith, then you would believe that he's the second best player coming into the league. So, by that metric, damn it, the Lakers are stacked. This might be a super team.
let's see, Renee, we were just commenting that you must have notifications set in the appropriate manner because I don't think you miss anything. Welcome, welcome, Renee.
For real, shout out
Brett,
to Renee, shout out to Monroe, shout out to Lou, shout out to all you guys out there, man. Much respect, Kareem Michael, Rookie 305. Thank you very much, guys.
Renee says, I hope SNF is joining. Well, your hope has become a reality.
You know I'm gonna be here. That's right.
AC24. Hey, AOH, what can the NBA do if a Wolves bench player is checked in onto the floor only to crack some bones? Well, that's similar to the previous question about, taking the law into your own hands. I wish I had the answer. You don't even have to crack some bones. If you just put a solid body out there like a Yabusele and make LeBron James run into it, just make LeBron James run into a solid wall, and that's enough for his bitch ass to lose his bravery. And we can't even get that to happen. Wide open lanes with somebody coming by when it's already too late, pretending to swing their arm. I mean, it's not even even when they contest it, it's not contested. I don't know
I
what to
mean,
say.
listen, from what I can gather, when we think about the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Lakers in this series, let's once understand something from the jump. The Lakers are the number 3 seed. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the number 6 seed. Now, there's not many wins, in between these teams, and the Lakers are some crazy, great team during the regular season. And we talked about how the Lakers have struggled on the road this year. But the one thing that I've noticed in the first 2 games, the Lakers haven't gone over 100 points in either one of those games. So what that shows me is that the Minnesota Timberwolves are actually playing some level of defense to a degree where they're forcing the Lakers or are not allowing the Lakers to put up more than 100 points, which is something to be said, I think, for this kind of NBA season. But on the flip side, what I've noticed or what's happened for the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is not necessarily a bad thing, they split the road on the road, 1-1. So they've actually won the home court advantage from the Lakers. So, like I said in my earlier video, if the Minnesota Timberwolves, all they have to do is win their remaining home games. Now that's easier said than done, absolutely. But essentially, that's all they have to do. It doesn't matter what the Lakers do. If the Minnesota Timberwolves win their home games, they've won the series already. That's what winning that game one did.
We've got a chat in there that says the Wolves scored a whopping 85 points. We can't blame the refs. Well, you know what? The Wolves definitely could have shot better. They definitely missed some opportunities, but that happens. And you don't always have your best night, and you can still win, unless, of course, there are other factors at play. Now, the Wolves, especially in that second half, it was getting intolerable, would try to fight back and were prevented. Like they weren't even getting shots off before the whistle would blow. They weren't even getting shots off before the ref said, nope, let's go the other direction. Nope, we're going the other direction. I mean, it was Lakers offense, Lakers offense, Lakers offense, Lakers offense. It was few and far between that the Timberwolves were even having a chance to get a shot off. And some of those were their failures. Some of those were their own failures. Naz Reid looked questionable in that second half. Gobert from the TNT overtime angle. I was in a bar. I'm up here in the mountains, so the only place I could go and get internet was in a bar, and I was screaming in the bar.
Ah,
And I think I was screaming at Gobert more than I was screaming at LeBron or uh, Luca. Just he doesn't have any hands. He can't get hold of that ball.
you know,
It's like
no, I'm
it's
sorry
like
about
he's
it.
got. It's just like his appendages are too far away from his brain for the neurons to fire quickly enough. It's painful. It's hard to watch.
Now, I was gonna echo your sentiment as far as Gobert, and I was gonna see your Rudy Gobert and raise you Mike Conley. Can someone tell me what Mike Conley is doing on the basketball court, man? You have 0 points? Like, come on, man. You played over 20 minutes and you got 0 points. And I'm not saying that you have to score a point to have an impact on the game. But damn it, man, you did nothing out there for your team. So when we talk about the help that some of these star players have or don't have, we can talk about some of these guys like Rudy Gobert. What have you done? I don't know. You just hit it on the head. What are you doing? If you're Rudy Gobert just has to score. What Rudy Gobert should be doing is dominating the glass. What Laker rebounder is out there? There's no Anthony Davis out there. He should be dominating that glass, Rudy Gobert. He should be having 4, 5, 6 blocks a game. He's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. And like I said, where's Mike Conley at? I don't understand it.
Last year, we had a conversation on the Sunday panel. I said, I'm confused because I was watching Rudy Gobert. And I said, how? How did he win Defensive Player of the Year 4 times? How? Nick gifted 5 Angry Old Hoops memberships. That's awesome, Nick. I think you're the one who did it previously, but that's cool. Quadras with a super chat. Clenched fist salutations. How can they beat LeBum and the refs? Fuck if I know.
They got to
Um,
make shots, like you said, AOH. One of the main problems, like I said, listen, the Wolves are in a good spot here. If you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, I'm sure you're feeling pretty good going back to Minnesota 1-1. The pressure was on the Lakers to win that game last night. And yes, we can say the referees gave them a hand. But ultimately, when you look at game one, and I watched the entire second half of game one, the entire second half, And when you look at game one and you look at game two, I only watched the first quarter of game two, but from what I've seen in the highlights, the game recap, and some of the numbers I've seen, the Minnesota Timberwolves made shots in game one. Like you said, to me, the guys like Nas Reed, the guys like Jaden McDaniels, they were the ones that stepped up. They were the X factors, and it was Anthony Edwards at certain times, you know what I'm saying? Putting forth the effort and showing why he's supposed to be a superstar, a star level type player. In game two, those guys didn't make those shots. Jaden McDaniels, Nas Reed, they didn't make those shots. And like we said, so not only are your role players not making the shots, but your starters are not doing anything. Gobert, Mike Conley, zero impact on the game.
It reminds me, I think we didn't see 100% eye to eye on something months ago. We talking about the 2016 finals, and the Warriors weren't making shots. And definitely, if they would have just fucking shot a little bit better, different story. But like I said earlier, you don't, some nights you're not hitting it, but you still played hard enough that you should have won. Unless, I got to tell you, in 2016, it reminded me of the pain of watching last night. Like everything that they tried to do was stopped. You know, every momentum that they
Yeah.
tried to gain was stopped. And anything they did defensively was whistled. I mean, at some point you're like, what am I allowed to do here? And the Lakers team was two-hand shoving people left and right. It's not an opinion, it's not a debate. I mean, I've got it in HD from different camera angles,
Yep.
which, and I'm sure people are wondering this. They ask it, and I still don't have an answer. Well, why? How are they getting away with it? Why are the other teams tolerating it? And not just tolerating it, like they're classier about it than the Lakers. The Lakers complain adamantly after every play, even when they get the call. They're still in the ref's faces, and you got the other team actually controlling themselves. And I start thinking, Jesus, do they have to start acting like the Lakers in order to get some calls? Which you and I, we don't want to see that. We don't want a night full of crying people annoying the refs. But this is what not officiating correctly leads to. Like, well, does everybody have to fall on the ground? Does everybody have to flop? Does everybody have to flail? Does everyone have to throw a hissy fit in order to get the same treatment that the Lakers get? What would you do, Robin?
I mean, listen, this is the thing I want to go back to. We talk about the making of the shots, right? And we're talking about playing a role. When we talk about shot making or not shot making, let's understand something. The star players, sometimes they're off. So, yes, maybe Steph Curry's not making the shots that night. Maybe Klay Thompson's not making the shots, right? Maybe Luka Doncic is not making the shots. Maybe your star, Michael Jordan's not making the shots that night. But the burden that the star players have on them, we're talking about the elite guys. These are the top of the tops of the league. The burden that's on them is that even when they're not scoring the ball or making shots, they must do other things to
Mm.
impact the game. So for Steph Curry, for example, if he's not knocking the three and he's having one of those nights where he's, 1 for 11 or he's 2 for 13 or something like that, he has to try to find other ways. Maybe get to the free throw line, maybe find other guys, maybe move without the basketball in such a way where you're getting other guys open looks or you're doing something. Maybe, like I said, put more pressure on the defense. Someone like Michael Jordan, for example, if he's not making shots, he can make more plays on the defensive end, right? Try to have an impact that way, rebound the basketball, help other guys get open, move without the ball. You're doing other things. When we talk about the role players, I mentioned guys like Nas Reed and the Jalen McDaniels and stuff, even the Rudy Gobert's, right? And the Mike Conleys. These are role guys, man. Whether they're starters or bench guys, they're still role players. Role players normally are better at home. That's why I said if I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves, you're okay. Because yes, your role players were bad on the road. That's all right, man. The reason why role players are inconsistent, or when sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, his teammates are inconsistent. If they were consistent, they wouldn't be role players. They would be all-star level guys or superstar level guys. The superstars are consistent. So, like I said, that's the burden on the superstars, and that's the role of the role players. They're going to play better at home. They're supposed to play better at home. So, I would figure Nas Reed, Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, these guys are going to be better at home.
You know, who I wanted to see more toward the end of the game was Dante DiVincenzo because he's the only, because the Timberwolves looked, I mean, they kind of started to look scared. They're like, hey, we can't get to the rim without a foul being called. We can't guard without a foul being called. But Dante has a little bit of a dog in him. But then I
Yeah.
remembered, oh, he's in foul trouble, like the entire team. The entire team. And
Yup.
I know people are saying, wait, the Timberwolves actually had five more free throws. Not every foul call is a free throw.
Yup.
That doesn't account for every whistle or non-whistle.
And like you
That's not.
mentioned, AWH, you said something very important. You said it was the timing of the whistles. So you said when a whistle comes at a certain time, like you said, maybe your team's gathering momentum, and now the
Yeah,
referee breaks that momentum up. So it wasn't that you got free throws from it, but it was the timing of the foul calls.
yeah. It was very hard to watch. Like they were making a comeback, and even when the Lakers were blowing them out, I still had a tiny bit of hope. I was like, but the Lakers, LeBron will fuck this up. And the Timberwolves were making that run, and they got it down to like 15, 12, 11. And every time it was going to get into the single digits, they actually managed to get it to the single digits briefly, was the whistles. And their momentum was being stopped. I mean, how often do we hear analysts? How often do you talk about momentum and momentum shifts and it being the difference maker in the game? Well, if the refs are preventing a momentum shift, you don't get to see that. It, you can't speak enough to the importance of influencing a game when you stop a momentum shift.
Yeah, absolutely, AOH. And you're talking about, I mean, if we think about things like the crowd, for example, you're allowing the crowd now to get back into the game or continue to stay in the game. And that's how you build momentum. The crowd can often help a team, get back on track or build that momentum. That's why we talk about the role players playing better at home usually, because they're feeding off things or elements like the crowd. They're feeding off of things like having, maybe sleeping in their own bed that night, having going back to their own routines. This helps the role players establish a rhythm and a routine out there.
I can't imagine sitting in that stadium with these fickle Laker LeBron people because every time LeBron touched the ball, they were like, oh, oh, like he would
Yep.
keep fucking up, and it doesn't matter. Like his team is doing great work, and the only thing they're interested in is getting ready to cheer vehemently for anything at all that he finally does right, and forgive him for every single mistake he was making. Let me read some. Supers here.
Let's do it.
Praise the dawn. Wouldn't be surprised if the fix is in for Legay and the Lakers to win the championship. Yeah, I mean, you
Yo,
never
shout out
know.
to
Oh,
Praise the Don.
Machiavelli. How did I know the Fakers were taking game two? I mean, I think quite a few of us predicted that, especially with the Lakers playing the clever word games, pretending like it was the Timberwolves who were doing the fouling and that it was only going to be a retaliation by the Lakers to do fouling themselves, which is just not true. And we also have Blacks, Blacks. If I was the Wolves coach, I would have left all my players in with fouls to force the refs to foul out my whole team in front of the world. Yeah,
I
that's an
like that.
interesting. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And listen,
Yeah.
or once again, you put your players in a position where they're out there with five fouls, and now they have to play that game with the five fouls, and that could work for you or that could work against you. But I like that idea. Make them get everyone foul them all out. I like it.
If we look at it just historically, that would look worse. That would expose the Lakers more because you can say, look, the refs fouled out this person, this person, this person, which is unheard of in the playoffs. Well, instead we have all these people on the verge of being fouled out, so you're not going to hear about it. And what makes that even worse is that those guys had to play more timidly in order to not foul out.
Right,
Yeah, the fouling out thing makes more sense. Play aggressively, force the refs to be the ones that foul you out, and let the guys off your bench have their chance to shine. Maybe
right.
sometimes, I mean, we see quite a few times where having a fresh set out on the court is exactly what was needed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes you hit your coaches sometimes will take some heat because they're not playing a deep rotation. So, sometimes people are saying, hey, why are you not playing some of these other guys? Give them a chance, throw them out there. And sometimes, coaches have a quick leash. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll pull guys early or they'll pull them too quickly. They won't allow these guys to work through certain situations. Like I said, man, to me, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are in a good spot. Like I said, if I'm a Wolves fan, I'm feeling good because, game two, the pressure was on the Lakers, right? They had to kind of win that game. If they would have went down 0-2, then all of a sudden now the finger pointing starts happening. All of a sudden you have the LeBron James stuff going on and, the Luka Doncic blame. And someone's going to start getting blamed to go down 0-2. So I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves are in a good spot, man.
Didn't Luca score less in this game, and yet he's being praised more than in game one? What did he have? 31?
31. And you know what's interesting about the AOH is that Luka Doncic scored 16 points in the first quarter, and the Wolves scored 15.
But that he scored 16 in the first quarter of the previous game, and all I heard was that Luca didn't do enough.
Yeah,
This
he
game he
fizzled
did.
out.
This game he did less, and he's getting more praise. People, wake up, think for yourselves. God damn.
Yup. That's how it goes. But I mean, listen, and wait, let's talk real quickly about, like you were saying, we were talking earlier before we came on, and you were saying how the precedent was being set from the tip-off of the game. And I know a lot of you guys out there in the chat have probably seen the short clip that AOH put out from literally like the first seconds of game two with LeBron James assaulting Mike Conley. And I guess that's why Mike Conley didn't do nothing last night, because he was assaulted by LeBron James.
Guys, I've got an entire day of editing it. I've got the full uninterrupted games up, but now I'm gonna do my usual breakdown. That was play one. You know what, everyone in the chat, if you want to mention a few things that stood out to you, make sure I don't miss it during the breakdown. Or if there's anything you want me and Robin to talk about, go ahead and mention it. We're not going to stay on terribly long. Like I said, I've got an entire day of editing that shit show. So, and Robin's
Yo,
already
shout out
put
to
out
everybody
what.
in the chat, guys. G24Ds, Donald Cummings, Monroe, Betty Fit. Shout out to all you guys that continue to come through, man. It means a lot, guys. Observe Natural Evolution, G, Mountain Skies,
Someone said
Nemo
Luca.
LA.
Some said Luca's all they had. I don't. I don't agree. Obviously, his gap between his points and others is very noticeable. But the fourth period, I'm going to do a video on this alone. LeBron tried to throw that game away. Austin Reeves wouldn't allow him to. Austin Reeves was coming through clutch while LeBron James was wet shit in the bed in the fourth, as usual.
I mean,
That
listen.
bites. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Oh, wait, sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm just rambling.
No, go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off.
I mean, the point was made, but he's not the only one. Like I saw a lot of guys on that team that were pissing me off, like the hustle defense. Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent doesn't get any love at all. Um, uh, Jared Vanderbilt and his 7 foot wingspan was causing people all kinds of headaches. I just want to look at the
Yeah, I
actual
mean,
point.
Gabe Vincent in the first quarter, when that person makes a comment about, Luka Doncic is all they had, I think that they're talking about the first quarter. Because, like I said, in the first quarter, it was all Luka Doncic. See, this is what the problem was for the Lakers in game one. We talked about the standing around. I said they had 10 assists on 9 turnovers through 3 quarters. That wasn't the case last night. So when we talk about moving the ball, not just standing around watching Luka Doncic, in that first quarter, Gabe Vincent hit 2 threes, had 6 points in the first quarter. Him and Luka Doncic combined for 22 points. Of the Lakers, I believe they scored 32 in that first quarter, and the Wolves had 15.
Yeah, so Austin Reeves had 16 points compared to LeBron's 21. It's a 5 point difference. Well, LeBron
Remember,
took,
21 points on 19 shots.
yes, this is what I'm saying. Austin took 14 shots. LeBron took 19. So 5 more shots to get 5 more points than Austin. So whose shots were more crucial and came in a more difficult moment? I'm
Yep.
not being petty. That's as important as it gets. Whose shots and when
Yep.
did they come? Not LeBron's fucking uncontested dunks.
Right? Like you said, once again, it goes to the timing. You've been talking about this for a while, AOH, and you've been on the money with these things. When we talk about that's why LeBron James was negative this season, because the points that he scores are points in a time of the game where he might score a quick cherry pick dunk, and then he gives up a layup on the other end. So your points negate themselves. That's where a lot of LeBron James scoring has been. Remember that season a couple years ago when he was chasing Michael Jordan as the oldest scoring champ in NBA's history. He was, remember, trying to break Michael Jordan's record, and he was, chucking up all these shots. And remember, he was in there with the Lakers down by 20. There goes LeBron James, still in the game, chucking up shots. Your points have no impact. You're out there just, remember, you only played like 55 games trying to chase the scoring title. But even if he would have gotten that scoring title, it would have never been the same. It would not have been respected. Michael Jordan, at 35 years old, led the NBA in scoring, but he played all 82 games to do that. And he played and was all defensive first team. LeBron James can't sniff that.
Somebody
And he won a
pointed out a
championship.
somebody pointed out a stat the other day on one of the mainstream shows. It's 450 players in the league, and I think 80 of them met the 65 game criteria. My God.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. That's exposed right there, man. I've done several
Damn.
videos on this kind of stuff, the 82 games in relation to the MVP winners and the star players. Like I'm talking the superstar guys, the top 5, 10 guys of every era. And you look at the guys from this era, like you said, guys just don't play, man.
Oh.
Like you're allowing these guys to miss 17 games. Like I just don't get that. Like you're literally saying, hey, you guys can low match for 17 games, but no more than that.
Playing 65 games back in the day was something that you were ashamed of. Not a goal to reach. It was like you were ashamed of something had better have been thoroughly wrong with you.
Exactly.
What were your remind everybody? What were your three videos you put out this morning? What were the different topics you hit?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. So they know the deal. They know what we was talking about. Let's talk about first the LeBron James, Steve Nash. The mind the game. Season 2, right? And what they were talking about. And I mentioned how LeBron James in this clip that I saw, Steve Nash asked LeBron James, "Is he taking any supplements?" And LeBron James says no. Then Steve Nash proceeds to follow up by asking, "You're not taking any creatine?" And once again, LeBron James says no. But when LeBron James is answering these questions, he looks as if he's confused or, trying to come up with some, high-tech answer or a way to explain it. He doesn't look like an idiot. And I found it laughable. And even Steve Nash himself, when you look at the look on his face, when he asked, oh, not even creatine, and LeBron James says no, I said in my video, it's almost as if Steve Nash was deviating from the script and he wasn't understanding what LeBron James was saying because he was supposed to answer the question a different way.
It's like surely you're
No,
not
wait,
going to
but
lie.
wait, it gets even worse. LeBron James
Okay.
proceeds to say that he takes natural, everyday vitamins. That's what he takes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Uncut Hoops.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the process, his excuse for leaving the court early. He didn't leave the court early last night. That's interesting. I was like, you don't need to get to your process. Why don't you
Yup,
need to
and
get to
that's
your
when you
process?
expose himself.
Where's your? Isn't your smoothie waiting for you tonight? I guess
Yo,
the.
he mentioned smoothie in that same clip, AOH. Natural, everyday vitamins, and he has his smoothie.
Hey,
No
you're a fit.
creatine, no supplements, natural, everyday vitamins, guys. That's what LeBron James does. And like I said, if you go back and watch that clip, he sounds as if he's making up all. I don't believe a damn thing he said.
Well, why would you?
It's insane that he's keep doing this damn mind the game stuff. I don't understand it. And like I said, I feel really bad for Steve Nash. And I said in my video, I don't know if Steve Nash needs money. And I'm not, making a joke about that, but maybe he needed some money and he wanted to get out there. I don't know if he's trying to get another head coaching job and he thinks that, if he gets out there in the public again and he can get back to a head coaching opportunity. Because I haven't seen Steve Nash since Kevin Durant ran him out of Brooklyn.
Yeah, and you know what? Even needing the money isn't a good enough excuse. I got on with Zay briefly this morning. It's like you can't let money determine who you are and what you had to say. Let me read a super chat from JE who says, I can't watch the purple and yellow circus. I'm glad you guys put in the work to expose these guys. I'm glad that you're glad. It gets old. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't get old. I mean, what a mockery. What a mockery of the sport. What a mockery of integrity. What a mockery of the human species, even that people are buying this bullshit. And again, what was on Cut Hoop? Oh, he was talking about the sidekick
Yep.
carrying LeBron last night. And let me reiterate, everyone, Lucas scored less this game than the game where he did not get praise. I don't know what to say.
The sidekick outscored the other team in the first quarter.
Luca had more rebounds than LeBron too,
Yup.
and more assists.
I said LeBron James had the worst field goal percentage of any starter in the game. And once again, he was 1 for 5 from the three-point line. Between games 1 and 2, LeBron James is 2 for 10 from the three-point line. But it's not necessarily the percentage that I'm laughing at, which is 20%, by the way. It's the fact that he took 10 threes over 2 games. Who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at his shot chart. It's very ugly. Oh my goodness, measles. Yeah. So the worst shooting percentage of his team, and I'm zooming in here. I can see that one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven of those were right next to the rim.
Yep. That's a typical LeBron James shot chart that we talk about. If you pull up someone like Michael Jordan's shot chart, and I'm only saying Michael Jordan because they keep trying to compare this guy to him, pull up Michael Jordan's shot chart. It ain't nothing like LeBron James' shot chart. What you see from Michael Jordan is the overall offensive game on display.
Um, damn it. What's my train of thought? I need to go for a jog and clear my head here.
Ha!
I'm just looking at these box scores. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yep. And
How,
that was the other video that I did that I talked about the game last night in relation to like Uncut Hoops mentioned a little while ago in the chat when we talk about Luka Doncic or LeBron James being carried by the quote unquote sidekick.
a couple more stats here. Praise the Dawn is back. Thank you. LeBron Peds allegations might never come out even after he retires. He has ESPN on payroll for life. Or by then, just recategorize it. Just say it's all natural peds. It's all natural human enhancement.
To me,
I
it, if LeBron James if it ever came out that LeBron James was, positive, let's say a positive test came out, it somehow came through, it fell through the cracks, and someone had a positive test that they confirmed it was out there was nothing LeBron James could do to deny this. To me, the route that LeBron James is going to go, the only route that he really can go is that someone gave him something that he didn't know something was tainted. He didn't know that this was illegal. That's the only route you can go at that time. That's it. Because we've seen the other routes that other athletes have tried to go, like Roger Clemens, for example. Roger Clemens actually went to court and actually testified in court with all these kinds of politicians. I watched it on TV. Roger Clemens did more damage to his career, not his career, his legacy, by going out there and having and putting on that display when we all can tell the dude was lying his ass off, man. Or you can go Barry Bonds route and just ignore these things and act like it's not around. You can go different ways. Rafael Palmeiro, he staunchly denied and said he never did anything, and then it came out that he did. A positive test came out. So you look stupid. Andy Pettit came out and admitted it, and he came out the cleanest out of everybody because he just came out and was like, "Yeah, man, I messed up." But that's the only route LeBron James could go.
don't think it matters. Look at LeBron fans. A lot of times we're like, we don't even understand your dedication to this person. It's not about basketball. You've just jumped onto something. And we see in other examples, once people have decided that they're going to go a route, they aren't going to change. And what do LeBron fans do when they're challenged with something difficult? They change the subject or they pretend that someone else is guilty of it. Instead of LeBron not being guilty, then they're like, oh, everyone does it. They're going to say that Jordan was on Peds or something. It's not even about LeBron becoming innocent. They just are going to wag the dog and have you look somewhere else or
Right.
justify, and without any proof, by the way. But the fact that they just blindly accuse other people of being guilty of it is enough in their minds. Ric
Yeah.
Flair, I mean Mo Vegeta, says, I saw Ric Flair last night. I knew it was rigged.
Ah,
A Hill says, nice cut, AOH. I'm hiking. My hair might not look as good as usual.
now that's
Our,
fluffy.
our NBA, this is from A Hill again. Our NBA 2025 czar AOH and Hubie Brown sports and fitness ratings. Hubie
Yo,
Brown,
much
the legend.
respect, man. That means a lot, man. Get mentioned with someone like Hubie Brown. I told you guys, man. Hubie Brown was one of the guys, like I said, man, he's like a forefather for basketball knowledge, man, when I was growing up watching these broadcasts. And that's part of the sad reality for a lot of the young people, for a lot of the casual fans. If you just turn a broadcast and you listen to Reggie Miller or you listen to some of these other fools in the booth, you're not really being educated on the history of the game. Hubie Brown and a lot of the guys back in the day, man, they taught and educated us. Yo, much respect to Hubie Brown, man.
Like I said, I'm just getting started. I've got the entire game uploaded to the members section. I'll start breaking it down with specifics when we get off of this call. And I'm actually kind of anxious to get to the editing, but I'm happy to continue to hear some of the other things you want to vent about before I get off, Robin.
Nah, let's do it, AOH, man. Go start your stuff. I'm anxiously waiting for you too, man. I was like, yo, when is he gonna put out the next one? Like I said, you guys know the deal out there in the chat. I'm a true fan, a true supporter of Angry Old Hoops, man. Like I said, the Zarda video footage. I'm not saying that facetiously or, I'm trying to get a laugh at it, people. The work that you put in, you one of the first YouTubers that I saw that I clinged on to as far as a channel and what you were talking about. So much respect to everything you do, the work that you've been putting in. Like I said, you are literally putting out the video footage of the audio that I'm giving people. So that's what I always say. I say it all the time. AOH is giving you guys the video footage. If you don't believe what I'm saying, go watch it.
Thank you. I appreciate all that. Appreciate all that. And pay attention to the shorts too, everyone. You might miss some of it in the shorts. I'll be putting out some shorts. Oh, we've got Quadris Samuelson says, death, taxes, LeBron needs help. I never ever heard
Exactly.
anyone. I never ever heard anyone say MJ needed help. The NBA got in bed with a horrible individual. Well, don't you know that's because Michael Jordan magically just had the best of everything. He had the best teammate ever in Scotty, the best coach ever in Phil. It's so
And also
convenient.
remember, AOH, and shout out to everybody in the chat when they say that. When they talk about LeBron needs help, remember that's the key. They would never say that Michael Jordan needed help. They would say, what do the Chicago Bulls need to do to improve? What do they need to do to put on the team? Because why? Because they're running a system. So it's not just about Michael. Oh, we got to get Michael Jordan rebounder. No, we need someone who's going to fit in the triangle to help Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls. So they'll say, oh, what does this team need to do? What does that team need to do? But when it comes to LeBron James teams, it's not what do the Lakers need, it's what does LeBron James need.
Good point. It's a good point. And by the way, I don't think Scottie Pippen was on Michael's college team when, as a 20-year-old, he won the championship. And I don't think Scottie Pippen was on the Olympics team when Jordan was a 21-year-old winning gold for the United States. And I don't believe that sports media was corrupted enough back then for those coaches to lie and say that Michael Jordan was the best player on that Olympic team as a 21-year-old.
And you know
How is
what's
it that?
interesting, LH, is that when you say that, it's not like they're just being hyperbolic and you're like, oh, they're just promoting Michael Jordan because they like him or something. No, remember, Michael Jordan and the USA team beat down the NBA All-Star Select team 8 games to nothing. Not
Hmm.
4 games to 4, 2-6, 8-0. Larry Bird was out there. Isaiah Thomas was out there. Magic Johnson was out there. Clyde Drexler was out there. And Michael Jordan, Chris Mullin, Patrick Ewing, they took it to them dudes. And they couldn't do nothing with them. So Michael Jordan lived up to the hype. He wasn't just all talk. That's why I say they can never tear down Michael Jordan and the other all-time greats through lies and narratives because they were never built up that way.
Let's be clear. Nobody knew who Jordan was really prior to when he won that tournament, the NCAA tournament, when he won Olympic gold. He made the name for himself battling in the NBA, and it was after that that it started to come out that people are like, yeah, we had signs. We had signs. of this greatness. In fact, who was it that said that if people had been more aware of his performance in the Olympics, he would have gone higher in the draft? Mo Vegeta with another super chat. Thank you. How is it that LeBron curse the refs out and don't get a tech, but other players do it and get one? Yeah, there's just from last night. This isn't cherry picking.
Yep.
Any and every game, you have an example of another player doing less than LeBron or Luca do and getting a tech. Michael Silberg
Exactly.
says, theory, Wolves, except the NBA won't let them win game two. Boy, I tell you, It, I didn't like the way that they gave up in the last minute and a half with what the 3-pointer can do these days.
Mhm.
I really didn't like that they just let the Lakers dribble the ball out and then Anthony Edwards dribbled the ball out. And the play before that, even they didn't look like they cared. Granted, it would have been a miracle, but Jesus, don't we see that type of miraculous
Yep.
long range three point shooting all the time now?
I
I don't know
just don't
why.
see. I'm sorry, Dan. I keep my bad, man.
No, it's my fault because I stop and then I start. But it's the playoffs. Why? Just fuck. I don't know. I just don't know.
Now, listen, I agree with you, man, and I hear everything that people are saying in relation to the, I think people are concerned. They're legit concerned because they're fans of the NBA. They're fans of basketball, and what they want to see is a legit competition. They want to see real. Listen, man, if LeBron James is going out there competing and he was playing legit all these years, he wasn't trying to put the odds in his favor and always cry for help. If he stayed in Cleveland or even stayed in Miami and earned it the right way, battled through a grind, people would have no problem with a lot of this stuff, man. We talk about the Lakers and all these things that's going on with these guys, man. It's like, how do you? I just don't see the referees being able to get the Lakers past a really good team. Can they get past the Minnesota Timberwolves? Yeah, because they're better than the Timberwolves. They really,
Hmm.
I mean, who's the best player on the court? Luka Doncic is supposed to be the best player on both teams, is he not? So to me, the Lakers have a better team. They should win this series. So when we
Hmm.
think about it that way, I just don't see the refs beating or having them beat a better team or a really good team. The refs can help them beat a team like this, yeah. But ultimately, if the Minnesota Timberwolves are knocking shots down, the refs can't do a damn thing about that.
We already said this a little bit, but Andrew provides some good context when he points out that Bobby Knight was the head coach of the '84 Olympic team, and he already had 3 national championships and 2 undefeated seasons at the time that he said Michael Jordan was the greatest player he'd ever seen. Scottie Pippen didn't exist in anyone's minds yet at that point. This is Bobby Knight, a legendary coach who's seen a lot of players, talking about Michael Jordan, who was not heralded as the chosen one, who did not have the tattoo, the chosen one, who was not having his high school games televised and all of this horse
Yep.
shit. In fact, the media was trying to keep Jordan down the first couple of seasons, saying, "Yeah, you can do this and that, but I don't think you have what it takes overall." Instead, LeBron was praised before he'd done anything and forgiven for every mistake that he makes. Well, shall we wrap it?
Let's do it, AOH.
All right, time to get to editing. Appreciate everybody that came through. Watch for the videos coming out. Thanks, Robin.
Yeah, there's love, man. I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys know the deal.